Hey everybody, I'm JimClassic and you are watching Geekin It. And fresh from Target is the Transformers Age of the Primes versus 4-pack of Ultra Magnus, Bumper, Horri-bull, and Animated Universe Nemesis Prime. So, let's just talk about the box real quick and then see what they are all about. Okay, so starting with the box, of course, we have a windowed package here. Thank you very much, Hasbro. Transformers Age of the Primes, Ultra Magnus, Autobot Bumper, Horri-bull, Nemesis Prime. So, we see them all there in robot mode. We see beautiful artwork there of Magnus and Bumper in vehicle mode, Horri-bull and animated Nemesis Prime in vehicle mode. To the side, this is very close up, but we'll do a panning shot. Beautiful artwork of Magnus looking leaderish. Leaderish. That's the word I'm going to use. We have beautiful box art of Magnus and Bumper looking like the heroic Autobots that they are. Moving on to the other side, we have Horri-bull and Nemesis Prime looking evil as they are. Anyway, love the artwork as usual. Moving on to the back, we see product shots of the various robot and vehicle modes, as per usual. And that's pretty much it. It's just a nice long box. Let's open these guys up and see what they are all about. Starting this review off with Ultra Magnus. And he is a repaint of the Legacy United G1 Optimus Prime. No changes. I haven't seen a naked Magnus figure in, a very long time. And, I welcome it. As long as Hasbro doesn't run away with it as they've done in the past. But still, this is such a fun toy to fiddle with. He is simple and just satisfying. Everything feels pretty tight. He's got a good range of motion for someone as blocky as this guy is. And, even... Alright, the bumper crotch is not the best. I mean, it does move out of the way, but it looks silly. But, hey, that's G1 Optimus Prime, or G1 Magnus for you, I guess. But... it's just such a cool figure. And, the white Optimus definitely brings back to the old Ultra Magnus toy. When I was a kid, I had Optimus and Ultra Magnus, and I destroyed my Optimus Prime. I literally had it disassembled. And so for the longest time, Naked Magnus became my Optimus Prime. Of course, he does come with all the same accessories. We have a blue Energon axe instead of an orange one. It fits pretty well right there in his hand, and he holds it well. And of course, you can get him into action poses and stuff like that, and fighting poses and things. He does come with, an Optimus Blaster. I'm okay with it. I mean, he holds it well. You can put a little blast-compatible thing right there. In fact, I'll do that. So the gun is, or at least it should be blast-compatible. You can just kind of wedge the blast effect in there, but it doesn't hold very well. I guess Hasbro has really done away with the whole blast effect thing for the most part. I mean, I suppose you could just wedge it there on the smokestack, but now you're just deforming the soft plastic of the blast effect. But he does come with the other gun, and this gun has the exact same problem as G1 Legacy Prime, is that this gun does not fit in the hand well. Like, barely fits. It's a very tight joint. I'm probably deforming the fist right there. It might be because this, in my opinion, I think this gun is painted, not white plastic. I think it's painted white. But here's the funny thing. It fits there, fine. It fits there, fine. It fits in every other 3mm port just fine. You can take the smokestacks off, and you can put the gun on right there, fine. It's just Magnus's fists that the gun does not peg in well. And so, I mean, quite frankly, this gun is useless then. Maybe I can give the gun to another character. I'll check a little bit later, but it's kind of disappointing. And oh, of course, the last accessory is Magnus does come with a silver matrix with a painted or clear plastic core. There we go. Take that out. So do get a nice silver matrix right here, and it is just painted. It is painted silver, and the base is clear blue plastic. But I mean, personally, I like this matrix better than the translucent green one that came with Optimus. I think the translucent green one was a reference to like old eHobby exclusives or something like that. But I like the silver matrix better. Though I'm pretty sure the silver matrix is supposed to represent the Origin matrix, the one that came with BotCon, or no, the Transformers Collectors Club Ultra Mammoth, because he also came with a silver matrix. So that might be what that's referring to. This might not be the Autobot matrix of leadership. This might be the Origin matrix. Whatever, that's what we're going to call it. Real quick, let's just check out that light piping. That works pretty well. Look at that. Look at those burning red eyes. That's pretty cool. And yeah, you know, Naked Magnus. Like, even with this set, which I do like this set overall, I keep coming back to this guy and just, you know, fiddling with him, toying with him. This guy is the fun one. And it's just a slightly better G1 Optimus. I mean, he's smaller too. He's a deluxe class, which I'm not a huge fan of. You know, we're just gonna break in Earthrise Prime real quick, and there we go. And move these guys up. I mean, this doesn't work for me. I do keep a separate collection of Transformers for guys his scale, but I know this is a simple transformation, but I think Hasbro just should have made this classic G1 Ultra Magnus Prime figure a Voyager. Maybe a shorter Voyager, like maybe bring him up to here at least, but I think he should have been a Voyager. I don't think this scaling looks good, in my opinion, but you know, whatever. It's still a fun toy. This is still a fun toy. I just don't like the scaling. But since we got these two, and we got the other Magnus gun, let's just try the Magnus gun on Earthrise Prime. Yeah, that fits. Look at that. That fits just fine with Earthrise Prime. So the problem might not be with the gun. It might be with his hands. Those hands might be just a little bit too small for that particular gun. Why that fits? Why everything else 5mm port fits in his hands? I don't know. In fact, you know what? Let's just test this out again. Let's just test it real quick. Let's give him the Earthrise. That was tight. Yeah, that was a tight fit. Yeah, okay. It's the fists. They're just maybe a little bit too small. I don't know. I kind of like that gun. Like, it might be... It's kind of a bit of a pea shooter in Earthrise Prime's hand, but I don't know. I kind of like it. Anyway. Well, I just did a quick transformation of Ultra Magnus here, and we have his truck mode. He's just basically the white cab Optimus. And, you know, he does roll pretty well. He does flip face forward pretty well, too, apparently. I don't know what I just did there. The transformation was simple enough. I just kind of skipped over that. But, yeah, I mean, it's just the truck mode. It looks pretty cool. The only thing I don't like about it, and this is my same issue with the Legacy version, is that this does not tab in well. Like, these pieces are tabbed in properly, but that's, you know, this is this gap. There's just this gap here, and I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it. I mean, otherwise, it just looks like... Otherwise, this does just look like the regular Magnus cab. Would have been nice to see some paint details here by the rear lights. You know, that's probably the thing. That's probably an issue with this figure. The truck mode is just white and silver with the black tires, and these are rubber tires or silicone tires. I don't think they're real. I don't think they're rubber anymore. That's done away with. But you got these tires, and it does grip the mat pretty well, and it rolls really well. So yeah, look at him go. He's got all these 5mm ports on the I mean, this is not a flatbed part, but you know, the rear end of the truck. You can put the axe right there. You can grab the guns and kind of wedge that in there. Wedge this one, and no, that fits just fine. Yeah. And yeah, well, I hate that. The weapon storage is not fantastic. I mean, it's functional, but not aesthetically pleasing. Rolling up beside Ultra Magnus, we have the Missing Link convoy here, just for a quick truck comparison. And you can see here how much smaller this Magnus is. Now, I mean, we're comparing two different separate lines of Transformers. This is Missing Link. This is the Age of the Primes / Legacy mold. So different teams, different engineerings and stuff like that. But, you know, just, he's a tiny man. He really is. I know I keep going on about that. I want him to be taller. I mean, we got 86 Magnus, and we've got Earthrise Magnus, and we got some pretty good sized Magnuses. I'm not completely, poo-pooing this guy, because like I said, I keep going back to it and fiddling with it, so I'm obviously enjoying it, but I just want him to be a little bit bigger. If you liked Legacy G1 Prime, you're probably going to like this one. If you don't have either, I recommend getting either, really. But yeah, Ultra Magnus, pretty cool. Okay, moving on to Bumper, who, well, this is kind of, I think, the first official Bumper figure. But he does date all the way back to G1 because there was some kind of a mistake at the factory where a Penny Racer mini-bot was put on either Cliffjumper or Bumblebee's card, but it was a completely different mini-bot that wasn't, mass released with that guy's face and a different vehicle mode, but he kind of got the name Bumper because of Bumblebee and Cliffjumper because he was on each one of their cards, but never got an official name or identity of his own. So Bumper was always kind of a fan name, but this is the first, my understanding, and please, someone correct me if I'm mistaken, but I think this is the first official Bumper figure, and he is, well, it's the 86 Bumblebee mold with a new head. So let's just take a look at that new head real quick. We have a very stoic looking face with some cool blue shades, and just a nice little tri-crested helmet there with the little cylindrical ear bobs. And that's pretty much it. The rest of him is 86 Bumblebee, flaws and all. Though I do like the gunmetal gray gun. But I did give my thoughts already about 86 Bumblebee in one of my previous videos. And my opinion really hasn't changed all that much. I mean, yeah, okay, Bumper makes a pretty neat novelty. But, personally speaking, since Bumper is not supposed to be a VW Beetle, I think Hasbro should have just used the Cliffjumper mold, or in this case, the buzzworthy Bumblebee, mold, and just put Bumper's head on this body, because this is kind of closer to the proper, vehicle mode that Bumper is. But whatever, I mean, these are both Target exclusives anyway. But yeah, I mean, Bumper's head sculpt looks good. The toy holds together well. The joints are tight. A little bit too good. The toy is competently made. He does look okay. He poses well. The joints are tight. So I mean, it's the same figure as 86 Bumblebee, just with a new cool head sculpt. That's pretty much it. I got nothing much else to say about him. I guess it's nice to have Bumper in my collection. I'm pretty happy with that. A new mini-bot is always welcome. And of course, transformation is exactly the same as 86 Bumblebee, so we'll just kind of skipped over that. But nice little yellow VW with very glossy black bumpers and, well, black headlights. Unfortunately, much like 86 Bumblebee, it doesn't entirely seem very well, so The yellow paint is definitely kind of coming through in between the bumper, and the Volkswagen hood is a little bit panely, which I didn't like that for 86 Bumblebee either, but it's a nice little squat penny racer. Looks pretty cool. Rolls well. He rolls just as well as the other Bumblebee, and like I said, he's just a fun little squat car. And really, that's all I gotta say about him. Okay, let's move on to horri-bull. Moving on to horri-bull. I believe horri-bull represents the last of the Decepticon headmasters. We have, in one of the previous sets, we got Squeeze Play, and then there was also Fangry, and I think this wraps it up. I mean, again, correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't really own a lot of those old G1 headmasters, but horri-bull. And it is a horrible pun, but whatever. Well, of course, starting with the figure, we have this very bland and kind of generic, kind of, Temu version Optimus Prime type of head with a mask, and it's not bad. It's got some nice beady red eyes, got little antennas and stuff like that. Of course, we have a gray and blue body scheme with some pink claws. Even though he's a bull, they should be hooves, but whatever. I believe he's also the only of the modern-day headmasters to have the readout in English and the little bars down there at the same time. I think all of the previous ones just had the colors and the readouts, but not speed, strength, intelligence. But still, this is kind of nice to see, and it is painted well. Of course, the gray is, well, rather bland. The blue is, I don't know, it's like an off blue. I don't know, it's like it's not navy blue, but it is a very dull, uninteresting blue. And of course, he's got his gun right there. He's got another gun right there. And let's just take Kreb off, his Titan Master or Headmaster, and it just kind of unfolds like so. And oh, are those arms stuck? Those arms might be a little bit stuck. There we go. And we have Kreb, horri-bull's Titan Master partner. A nice little gold painted face right there. From what little I can see of this, kind of reminds me of like an Iron Man type of face. But anyway, yeah, here we have the head. Of course, since horri-bull is based off of his G1 self, we have, animal parts just kind of hanging off the limbs. And of course, the beast mode head is hanging off the back like the most awkward hoodie hood you could imagine. But yeah, aside from how simple our man is, let's just get this guy into beast mode. Moving on to beast mode, we have horri-bull in his bull mode, I guess. For a bull, he's pretty low to the ground, but then again, this is based off of the Skull Cruncher Croc mold. But I'm not gonna put any airs on and talk this guy up. He's pretty janky looking, but whatever. You got this cool little bull head sculpt, with razor sharp teeth, because bulls are apex predators. You have these really sharp claws, even though bulls have hooves. And, of course, we all know bulls have 3 tails, at least. But I do like how the guns are, do act as the tail. And, of course, we have, Greb? I forget his name already. Kreb. Of course, we have Kreb here in the pilot seat and, doing whatever calculations or, whatever is necessary, whatever these headmasters guys actually does, he's in there doing it. Close that up. So, I do like the fact that the bullhead has a rotating head and articulation. Well, I didn't just break it, did I? No, I did not break it. Okay, good. Woo! It's on a 5mm port. Okay, I kind of forgot about that, but it does look like I just broke it. But no, I did not. But, yeah, the horns are also articulated. And weird thing is, these horns were on a sprue for some reason. They were just on a sprue. I had to pop them off. I saw the same thing with Age of the Prime's Skybite. his fins were on his sprue, and this is just a weird thing. I don't get it. But yeah, I mean, okay, so it's a bull. I mean, sort of. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. It looks more like a terror dog to me than it does a bull. It's just very low to the ground. It looks like it's about to pounce. But also, squeeze play was a little janky too. So maybe these, you know, bonus G1 headmasters are all actually even Fangry. Fangry's pretty janky. They're all janky. He might be the jankiest though, but who knows? But yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of curious. I do kind of want to know what would this guy look like next to Ectotron. Hold on a second. Okay, Ectotron does kind of tower over horri-bull, but still, look at that. That does kind of look like the Terror Dog. I'm sorry. I mean, little bit. So, so yeah, I might possibly include horri-bull into my unofficial crossover collection, because I mean, you know, it does. If you squint, it kind of looks like the Terror Dog, and I'm okay with that. Lastly, for the Voyager scale in this set, we have an animated universe Nemesis Prime with a new head sculpt. So this is the third release of this mold. Optimus Prime was the first one, Motor Master was the second one, and of course, Nemesis Prime right here. We never saw Nemesis Prime in the animated series, never alluded to Unicron, so maybe this is Hasbro's way of saying that there is a Unicron in the animated universe. Of course, since this is Nemesis Prime, he's got the black with the turquoise accents. He does have some red paint apps, which also really work with this guy. And of course, the clear red plastic and the eyes. You know, this guy looks intense. He looks like, well, I mean, he looks like Nemesis Prime. And I am always happy to have a new Nemesis Prime to my collection. Also, I would like to add his chest holds together a lot better than Motor Master's did. I'm not sure what was up with my Motor Master, but his chest kept coming off. But Nemesis seems to be holding on pretty well. Again, I would have liked to have seen different weapons. Sure, the telescopic battle axe is actually really nice, and of course he comes with the light bar, but you know, the toy, at least the toy of Optimus Prime, also came with a handgun. Yeah, it would have been nice to have seen one of these variants come with the gun. Getting Nemesis Prime into vehicle mode, you can see he's basically a black and teal fire truck done in the animated / legacy style. And, you know, the transformation was fine. No loose parts. Everything is tabbing in pretty well. Yeah, pretty much. Everything tabbed in pretty well. No issues. There's no mold degradation. And it was just an easy process and still kind of fun. And it does work. It works in the animated style. You still have some of the legacy classics type Greeblies that animated just didn't provide. Plus, it just keeps that form, that shape that made animated itself classic. The feet are still weird. They just kind of fold up there, and I don't know. This is a telltale sign that Hasbro might be working on an upgrade kit of their own. I mean, I know there's the DNA upgrade kit that makes Optimus Prime Jetwing Prime, as he was seen in the last episode of Animated. But yeah, I mean, these little ports right here, and the way this is set up, like 5mm port, square port. This indicates that I bet you Hasbro has something in mind for a Jetwing Prime of their own. Probably Japanese exclusive or something like that. But, of course, it's got weapon storage. You just kind of, wait, how's it go? You put it kind of right there, and yeah, this is not a planned weapon storage. I mean, I suppose you could, put the axe right there. You could put the axe right there in the light bar. I suppose if you really want to. You can even put it right here in the wheels. I suppose you could just put it right there in the wheels if you really want. Not that anyone would really want. But, yeah, let's just set that aside and pretend that's not there. But yeah, overall, Nemesis Prime's truck mode is a solid, truck mode. But yeah, this is a solid truck mode, and it fits well with the other legacy animated characters. I'm actually really curious, now that I'm holding this guy in my hand, and now that it's kind of in my mind, I'm wondering how the legacy animated characters might stack up against the actual animated toys. But anyway, putting Nemesis Prime there to the side, here we have horri-bull, and horri-bull is a deluxe class. He does look pretty small compared to Nemesis here, but that's okay. Of course, we have Bumper right there, and we have Naked Magnus right there. And Magnus and Nemesis do, they don't look like they scale in well with each other. Yeah, I mean, like I said, as much as I do like Naked Magnus, as much as I like this legacy mold, it is really small. And, that just doesn't work for me, but that's okay. I've got other small figures, small Optimuses that I can just have them hang out with, so that'll have to do. I'm holding out hope that Hasbro is going to make an animated Megatron. At the very least. It doesn't sound like we're going to be getting a lot of animated characters. I mean, I know Ratchet is around the corner somewhere, but, it's mostly Autobots, and then that lousy Lockdown, which I didn't buy, and of course Motor Master and Wasp, but there's just not enough Decepticons. Come on, Hasbro. Get working on Megatron. Come on. Alright, so that has been my look at the Target exclusive Age of the Primes versus 4-pack. So this is my first 4-pack that I've actually done a review on. I actually started a Troop Builder video a while ago and never got around to finishing it, but this has kind of motivated me to go back and finish the Troop Builder video and maybe even do the Cliff Jumper versus 4-pack as well. Just want to talk about these guys. I'm just having a lot of fun, and this really got me pumped. Anyway, I'm out. Y'all have a good one. I'm JimClassic. You have been watching Geekin' It. I will see y'all later. Take care, everybody.